Hello students, today we're going to discuss the IELTS speaking test part 3. This is probably the most difficult part of the speaking test because it has abstract questions which it can be difficult to think of answers to. However, I'm going to give you some valuable suggestions on how to deal with this part. First of all, my main advice is that, as in all speaking tests, you should try to speak in exactly the same way you would write. So speak in full sentences, pause where you expect commas or full stops, start new paragraphs with joining words like however, moreover, on the other hand, on the contrary, etc. Don't do what a lot of students do, which is to talk in lots of short phrases joined together by sounds like This will not get you very good marks. In addition, I would recommend you try to control the conversation with the examiner. You do this by trying to speak as long as possible, and don't give him or her the opportunity to ask you a new question. When you get a new question, you have to spend time, yet again, thinking of how to answer it. So try to reduce the number of questions you get, but spend more time answering them. Keep on talking until the examiner stops you. Don't feel afraid to talk too much. My personal suggestion is you do not look the examiner in the face. I personally think this is distracting and spoils your concentration. If you have made a few notes, as you should do, what I would do is look at your notes or look away at the window, the wall, or something else while you're thinking of the next thing to say. So let's now have a look at these questions we have. We have 6 questions. First one, attitudes to tourism. Why do you think people like to travel to different places in their free time? I think you should be looking for 2 reasons here why people like to travel, and try to give long answers by thinking of examples to illustrate. So let's begin. One of the main reasons people like to travel to different places is they want excitement and adventure. Notice how I pause here. Don't be afraid to pause for a few seconds. Give yourself time to think of how you're going to start your next sentence. Don't worry about the examiner interrupting you. So let's continue. For example, 2 years ago with a few friends of mine, we went on a journey to Mexico. While we were there, we did many exciting and adventurous things. We tried lots of spicy Mexican food, and unfortunately one of my friends got very sick with diarrhea. And we visited many historical monuments, in particular the pyramid-shaped buildings constructed thousands of years ago. Here we'll give one more idea. So we're looking at starting a new paragraph here. In addition, people like to go away to different places to relax. If they have spent the whole week working at a strenuous and stressful job, they might like to go somewhere and totally escape from the worries and cares of their normal life. So that ends the answer to that question. You can see how I pretty much construct it in the same way I would do an essay. It may appear too long, but don't worry about that. If the examiner wants to interrupt you, he can, and then you can respond in an appropriate way. Question 2. How do you see tourism changing in your country in the future? I'll try to make this a little bit shorter, otherwise this is going to be a very long recording. Well, the government in my country is trying to promote more culturally based tourism, especially at the higher end of the market. So, for example, they want more older and richer people to come to visit things like temples, discover about Thai cuisine, and explore the many national parks we have in our country. So that's a one-sentence answer to this question, which is also okay. You could, if you want to, try to give another example of how you think tourism will change in your country. Let's go on to the next part, conserving the countryside. Why is it important to protect the countryside? This is actually quite a difficult question in terms of thinking of an interesting way to answer it. So I'll give you my idea. The countryside usually represents nature in its most natural form. We can see hills and trees, lakes, and many kinds of wild animals. Most people think because this is the fundamental state of our environment, we should try to preserve it for its beauty and its uniqueness. We don't, for example, want to see the whole country looking like one big city with only concrete buildings, tarmac roads, and the all-pervasive traffic jams. Next question, in what ways is the countryside in danger in your country? Again, you have to use your imagination. This is often the most difficult part of answering a question, thinking of what to say. So here's my idea. It is clear in my country that the countryside is in danger from commercialization, expansion of cities, and tourism. If, for example, we look at the many islands in Thailand, we can see they have become, in many cases, small cities with all the concomitant problems we see in big cities. I'll give you that word again, concomitant. Check it in Google. Forests and wilderness areas are being replaced by hotels, tourist resorts, factories, and many kinds of industrialization. The natural habitat of many animals is being destroyed, and we have pollution of the atmosphere and rivers in a massive way. Okay, let's go on to the last part of the questions, historic buildings and monuments. Why are historic buildings and monuments important to a city? These questions are getting more abstract, and this is quite a difficult question to answer. I would focus on the historical aspect of this. So here's my answer. Historic buildings and monuments are important to a city because they are reminders of our past and how we got to where we are today. For example, the Royal Palace in Bangkok is a constant reminder of the monarchy in this country and how influential it has been in the development of Thailand. Many people feel this is important because it is an essential part of Thai culture and the foundation of many of our beliefs. That's a difficult question. Hopefully you won't get that one. And last one, is it better to keep old buildings or build new modern ones? I think this is an easier question to answer. My answer is, well, this really depends upon the purpose of the building. For example, if you have a modern office building, which is designed for efficient working, you will probably want a modern design which is easy to maintain, economical, and suited to the modern working environment with all its associated equipment such as computers, telephones, and many kinds of electrical devices. On the other hand, old buildings can be very beautiful and places which attract people to visit. Old temples, palaces, country mansions should probably be preserved as they are because they represent a beautiful past which no longer exists. Okay, students, that's the end of this recording. I hope you found that helpful, and good luck with your exam. Bye bye.